Monarch Migration. Presented by the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Does it ever seem like there are fewer monarch butterflies around these days? We've heard that a lot. It's not nostalgia, it is fact. Over the last 30 years, the monarch butterfly population has rapidly decreased. Scientists can't fully explain how multiple generations of butterfly instinctively know how to make it from Mexico to Canada and back to winter every single year. What is clear, their path takes them directly through Oklahoma, south every fall, north every spring. So what is being done to preserve this mystifying migration? We traveled with the Oklahoma City Zoo to Mexico to find out. It's become a symbol, one worth fighting for.
Monarchs are like a poster child for nature.
Something lighter than a leaf, traveling hundreds, even thousands of miles. But these insects today carry something far heavier, the weight of possible extinction.
About 90% of their population is lost.
That lift takes perseverance. For more than an insect,
It's a wake-up call to all of us.
to all those who help to see the iconic species survive.
How are y'all doing?
The buzz inside Anthem Brewing from those who take up the cause. This event is put on by Okies for Monarchs, the public-facing campaign of the Oklahoma Monarch Society,
That looks good.
and its leader, Katie Hawk.
Look at your face, it's beautiful. Can I take a picture with her?
Flutters about the room, spreading awareness from person to person.
He loves his picture taken, especially video.
Not so different from the pollinators she hopes to protect.
Today is our annual pollinator party, and we have a number of opportunities available for the public to come out and learn about strategies and effective tips and tricks for managing their yards so that they are pollinator friendly.
This event fills two purposes. One, tapping into new funds.
Right now, and you want to cash your card? Pollinator Pilsner is one of those strategies as well for fundraising. It's also education and awareness. And then it is made with local honey, of course. So, but it's very tasty. We released it last year, so this is our re-release.
Each pint holds a purpose, offering a reason to reflect on how monarchs impact our daily lives.
They're not just good for farms, they are absolutely critical and essential. Not all produce, but a lot of produce requires pollination in order to actually produce. So we need them, farmers need them, we all need them to survive.
And their survival
So I can net this little guy right here.
caught the attention of Emily Guest.
So he's right here. And I just look at the back wings and make sure it's what I think it is, and it is.
She studied these pollinators for more than a decade.
So no caterpillars.
The zoo's native plant garden provides plenty of field work.
These tall green plants are sunflowers, and they have a lot of caterpillars on them right now. You can see that its wings are perfect. It's not missing any pieces on the edge. The colors are really rich and vibrant. So it's a pretty fresh butterfly. It probably came out today or yesterday. There he goes.
More than a decade studying migration patterns.
This is the first few of the year that we've seen.
Now, more than a decade watching the population shrink, covering just 2 hectares where they winter in Mexico.
A hectare is 2.47 acres.
2.47 acres.
Yeah, so like 2.5 acres if you round up. That would be 5 acres in total of where all of the eastern migratory monarchs fit in Mexico right now. When we look at the history of monarchs, where there's around 20 million monarchs per hectare, and we currently have less than 2 hectares in Mexico, so there's only around 40 million monarchs in North America. We can compare that to where there was hundreds of millions of monarchs 30 years ago.
Her work here, intermeshed with her primary tool.
Some cool dragonflies in here.
But this long-term study typically consists of just a few monarchs at a time. Those who stop here for the native plants, just as they have for thousands of years.
Well, this is another good one. Ruellia.
Those native plants include nectar and milkweed. Plants Cody Waters
Here's some better versions of that Monarda citridoria.
specializes in.
That's basically the gist of it.
At Prairie Wind Nursery, it's a growing part of business. Plants native to the Sooner State.
So these are the milkweeds that we sell here. Some of them, not all of them, because we've sold a lot of them.
Milkweed, where butterflies lay their eggs and their offspring find nourishment.
Coreopsis, it's just cute. It's probably one of the first ones I see in my garden. We have some Echinacea pallida, which is a great nectar plant. We have some rattlesnake master.
Nectar plants, crucial for a butterfly's journey.
Well, they provide the fuel for our monarchs and our pollinators to produce whatever. So the bees, their honey for the monarchs to get back to Mexico or up to Canada. So the nectar is just their fuel source. I get asked a lot what will grow in the clay, and I have to say almost all of this will grow in clay. So it's just all about getting it established. Once you've got it established, it's pretty much a hands-off kind of garden.
Cody's job in part is to provide the plants that monarchs need to thrive. But like Emily and Katie, Cody had never seen the fruits of her labor, the final stop on the Great Migration. Her care for pollinators, though, is deeply rooted, just as the plants that help them survive.
This is what draws in our pollinators, and pollinators are really important for everything, really.
Important enough to receive protection along Oklahoma interstates and highways. In fact, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation is making them a priority.
This is the viridis, Asclepias viridis, which is the most common milkweed in Oklahoma, or on the rights-of-way, at least on Oklahoma rights-of-way.
The rights-of-way Von Seal-Harmon and Rhonda Fair monitor year-round.
And they are very hard to spot, of course, because they're small.
Overseeing hundreds of miles, searching for signs of success.
And so we're only looking at like the fresh stems to see if we see any eggs. We have a caterpillar, which is why we look at the stems.
Soon, this caterpillar will make its transformation and continue the journey north toward Canada.
You guys, I bet, had the same mama.
It's the fourth, sometimes fifth generation that will make it back to Mexico. Down I-35, the Monarch Highway, the same route these protectors are taking for the first time. Just outside of Mexico City, in the state of Michoacan, the Monarch moves into the Sierra Mountains. Accessing them, not always a smooth ride.
We're seeing a few, just like one or two here or there, monarchs.
Larissa Balzer is among those who made the journey.
That's, where they go, of course.
Though she now lives in California.
Buenos dias.
She's a longtime member of the Oklahoma Monarch Society.
He had been doing its thing prior.
And this is her first time seeing where they winter.
See, there's a huge cluster in the tree. Oh my God.
The butterflies cluster on tree branches to stay warm. In Mexico this year, just 23 colonies. Taking in the sight of them.
Like, you want to be up here and you're excited, but you get here and you're instantly just like at peace. Like there's something sacred about the mountain and the birds, and you're huffing and puffing, and then these beautiful butterflies are just around you, and it's just very it feels very sacred here. It feels very special.
Special for Katie, for Rhonda and Cody.
It just felt like a dream.
Oh, it was just magical. It was so fantastic. It's probably the most amazing thing I've seen, and that's not even the right word for it. Like, you would really have to be here to understand, but it just felt very magical and special.
Special for all these Okies, whose reactions were largely the same.
Isn't it amazing? They're like all in here, and they're just like everywhere you look, you see them wiggling their wings.
It was overwhelming. I started crying when I started seeing them, and I had to take a step back and just sit there and be with them for a minute and get grounded, and then be like, okay, now let's look at how cool they are from a scientific perspective again and see what they were doing in their behaviors. But that first moment was just stunning, and I'll treasure it forever.
This is as close to God as humans get. It's really magical.
It's like, I have no words, and that is exactly what will happen to you. Your words will be taken away from you. When you see how they use the forest, we saw them in clusters. They're just hanging at the edge of branches. And what we saw in the first reserve, which is one of the younger reserves, you know, they were breaking the branches. They were just like everywhere, and it was real chaotic. And as soon as the sun came out, you know, it was like diamonds just blowing across the sky.
Magic in the sanctuary of El Capullin.
This is the same sanctuary that is Cerro Pelon.
It's a newer sanctuary, less established, in the care of researchers like Teresa, Sam, Siddhartha, and all those who live nearby. They know this species' significance and have watched its decline.
Monarch butterflies are a symbol because it can unite three countries. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are together trying to save this insect. So it's important for that, and it's important because biologically it has an impact in the pollination, and it's very bad because last December monarch butterflies was a change of category. Right now they are in danger of extinction. So it's dire, yes.
Here, the challenges include logging, cutting down the trees the butterflies inhabit. But when you look to the hundreds of miles these insects travel, those challenges increase exponentially.
Oh, it's multifactorial.
Dr. Patrick Bell knows the challenges well. He's not only an environmental scientist, but a founding member of the Oklahoma Monarch Society.
I think the monarchs are the canary in the coal mine, if you will. They are emblematic of what's happening as far as environmental concerns, and the fact that we are thinking not so much of what we're doing to the environment. The monarchs are kind of the poster child, if you will. So yeah, they're critically important, not only for their own species, but as a wake-up call to all of us. Maybe we need to rethink how we're doing this.
A wake-up call that's never been louder.
It's very serious. We're in the lowest recorded records since 2014 of in the last decade of their populations. Loss of habitat due to development, and of course loss of habitat due to use of herbicides, and of course loss of the species due to use of pesticides. Additionally, climate change is a major factor. Unfortunately, the climate changing is actually modifying their behavior. They're confused. They're moving at different times, maybe too soon, too late. And if they start migrating too soon because the climate is warmer, and they start migrating north from Mexico to Oklahoma, we don't have any blooms yet. We don't have nectar. Nectar fuels their wings. So, and it's not just them. Other pollinators are coming out when that warmer weather is happening, but the plants aren't blooming yet.
Blooms needed in Mexico and in our own backyards.
We need to put milkweed in the ground for Oklahomans. We need to deal with all of the stuff that we spray in agriculture. Once upon a time, probably every single tree on this mountain would have been covered with a butterfly. And there's no reason why that can't exist again. It's our responsibility to take care of this. We're on a rock in space. Like, it's incredible that we even have this, that it exists, you know? So it is our responsibility to take care of it.
It's more than just our spring flowering plants. Our habitats need to be just as diverse as what we saw out here. So the more diverse that I can help somebody get their yard into, and the more rewilding of their yard that we can get to, the more impact this has. And since the populations are declining, then it makes it, I feel more driven to really educate people on that so that we can help get those numbers up.
Getting numbers up in backyards only goes so far. The mission extends to our rights of way, the state's yard, if you will.
It does take effort on our part, but some of the things that we do proactively actually save us money in the long run. You know, if we maybe don't mow as much, or don't mow all the way to the right-of-way fences, just mow the clear zone on either sides of our highways, you know, that can save us money and, you know, benefit the monarchs as well. And I think even more important than that is just the example that we set for the citizens of the state.
This is the idea. We know that the migration is fragmented. We know that agriculture and pesticides and urbanization are causing all of the problems, a lot of the problems for the monarch. But if we can take, like, for example, the U.S. roadway system is almost 12 million miles. That's a lot of land system. And, you know, when you think about, you know, some of these rights-of-way are 400 feet, some of them are 30 feet. If we can only mow in the safety areas, or we only use pesticides in the safety areas.
The efforts stateside help fill these sanctuaries south of the border, places like Sierra Cinque.
Butterflies in this age of the year, they start to moving sometimes from the higher places to the lower places.
At nearly 12,000 feet, much of the climb can be done on horseback, a luxury for some, necessity for others. The hike can be difficult. The views make it manageable, but the destination makes it worth it. Warmth from the sun is an activator, setting these insects to flight. The sun's rays illuminate the iconic color.
It just really shows how important everything is. You know, from the very small to very big, we're all connected.
Here you get to see millions at one time, and then when that sun, the clouds opened up and that sun came through, and all the monarchs start coming to life, you know, and leaving their roost and flying all around us. It felt like it just felt like a dream. It was magical. It's unlike anything I've ever witnessed. You know, we've seen videos and watched documentaries, and you can't match that experience in person.
How many butterflies do you think we're looking at? It's just mind-blowing to finally get to see that, because I don't get to see that in my yard. Like, I rarely see butterflies in my back. I mean, I see butterflies, but not like this, you know?
And in their midst,
it's straight magic.
Few words are needed.
There was nothing but tears, like probably at every sanctuary. Oh, it's almost overwhelming in a sense, and it gives me just such a deep appreciation for how tenacious the monarchs are.
It was inspirational and truly heartfelt as far as how warm it feels to just think we're not there yet, but we can make a difference.
A difference seen at the country's most established sanctuary, El Rosario. We're outside of El Rosario, the largest colony of monarchs in all of Mexico, and every year thousands and thousands of people come to see the butterflies that travel thousands of miles every year to be here. Those thousands turn to millions inside, a sight to behold, but a sight diminished.
this year we have a little recovery from the last year. The last year was the less number of butterflies.
Biologist and researcher Siddhartha Neri has watched that change over the last few decades, back when observations were made by helicopter.
It was impossible to cross or come out because they were everywhere. Or a helicopter, you could see in the past that this was like a black stain full of butterflies, and all the butterflies were in the soil, in the ground, in the bushes, and in the trunk. And today is just a tiny, in comparison with 20 years ago, maybe I don't know, 20%.
This year's Signs of Hope still warn of trouble ahead, especially for those whose livelihood depends upon their existence. Tourism here is an economic driver, but more than money, in central Mexico, keeping the monarch is a matter of life and death. Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, the first 2 days of November. It's a chance to celebrate relatives that have passed. And no one celebrates Dia de los Muertos like the town of Pátzcuaro. And it was here we met restaurant manager Liliana. She, with the help of a translator, says the monarch and Los Muertos have long been connected.
Particularmente en el municipio en el que nos encontramos hoy, que es Pátzcuaro.
It's very important for us that we get the butterfly here because there's an old tradition that says that the butterflies carry the souls of the people who passed away. And they arrive here days before the Day of the Dead, which is the 1st and 2nd of November. So we believe that the butterflies bring the souls of those people who is already gone, and they come in that specific date to celebrate with us.
More reason to help them live.
It makes us feel proud that we get this butterfly here because it's, in the first place, it's an endangered species. And it gives us a responsibility to take care of it, to take care of the forests and sanctuaries, and everywhere in the rest of the world, they don't have the opportunity to see this migration. So it makes us feel like we have not only pride in receiving them, but also responsibility to take care of it. It's a phenomenon that doesn't happen everywhere in the country. It's something that it's particularly received here in Michoacán, in our sanctuaries.
It's losing a word and a way to understand and to see life.
Tour guide Ronnie Cerrone has studied Mexican culture for years. For him, the monarchs also symbolize living memory.
I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather took me to the first sanctuary, that it was the Rosario Sanctuary. So it was a lovely experience being with him. Every time I arrive to the sanctuaries, I have the opportunity to take that moment back. You know, I remember him like with the memories.
No matter what they symbolize, the emotion of the moment wasn't lost on Larissa.
In Norman, where I used to live, there was a tree that my dog and I would walk around in this park every single day. And in the fall, one time, on the fall migration, there was a whole group of butterflies. And then several years later, my dog passed away, and I was able to have her, she passed underneath this tree. So monarchs aren't necessarily my ancestors, but spiritually I feel connected because it's sort of like my dog spirit is like around me. So I was sobbing yesterday.
This trip, a comfort for the entire group, seeing firsthand what they fight for.
And seeing that, I felt like, yeah, we can do this, but man, it resonated deep inside. Connection was something that I have spent decades championing, and it felt like, yeah, this was worth it.
It helps really cement that this is why I do this. I've spent all these years studying them, and it's not always fun to sit there and parse through the data and write the papers and go through peer review, or even being out in the field in some of those 110-degree Oklahoma summer days. So in those moments, you're just like, why am I doing this? And so to be here and see them, it really made me realize that, yeah, this is why I do it. It just was so worth it to see it and see the looks on other people's faces as they first got to see that connection and have that moment was also really magical.
It's going to make me more driven. It's going to give me the ability to educate people more and be more passionate about educating them. It also kind of opens my eyes to see that it's more than just milkweed. It's more than just our spring flowering plants. Our habitats need to be just as diverse as what we saw out here.
We want to check the top of the plants to see if there are any eggs. We know what it looks like on going and coming from the migration, but to have that perfect circle of seeing them where they overwinter, where they begin their journey to come back to Texas and Oklahoma, because that's, a fifth generation, they hit Texas and Oklahoma looking for resources to go to the breeding grounds. And so it tells me that our maintenance guys have been doing the right thing. They've committed to it, and they don't have to. It's all voluntary. So many other organizations have committed to it. I think we're just going to knock it out of the park, and we're going to help the overwintering population here.
It literally refuels our tanks, refuels our wings to go back home and continue this mission. It energizes us even more, and I believe it takes our passion to a new level and our understanding to a whole new level. To now be able to bring that home, we have a better understanding of the importance of our work back home, and I believe that it will enhance our storytelling as well and enhance our ability to be able to connect Oklahomans with the importance of the monarch migration. 1 in 3 bites that we take every day require pollinators to pollinate the crops for us to eat. Monarchs are a pollinator, and anytime that we're helping the monarchs, we're helping all pollinators. We absolutely need our pollinators in order to continue producing crops.
The monarch. Lighter than a leaf. Heavy with purpose. Carrying the weight for all pollinators. And that may just be a symbol worth fighting for. If you would like to learn more about the statewide efforts to protect the monarch butterfly, if you would like to help, we have additional information, resources, and additional content available right now at news9.com. For Oklahoma Zone, I'm Colby Thielen.
Monarch Migration has been presented by the Oklahoma City Zoo.